The decision of whether to go or not to go to the International Court of Justice has dwelt among many a conversation within diplomatic, religious and secular circles since the Ramphal-Riker confidence-building measures hit a deadlock a few years ago. In fact, Belize has taken part in negotiations to settle the age-old territorial dispute since 1962. Today, in an official setting at the Radisson Fort George Hotel, the road to the ICJ inched one step closer with the commencement of a public awareness campaign initiated by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The choice for the Prime Minister, Dean Barrow, is a clear one, while the leader of the opposition, Francis Fonseca, holds a more reserved position on the sensitive issue.
There can be no misstep, not even the faintest suggestion of psychological coercion, of subliminal intimidation. Speaking for myself, I have made it clear that I will vote yes, but I will strong-arm no one to follow my lead. The Cabinet also formally supports a yes vote, but individual members are allowed a conscience opt-out.
There are good people who wish to vote no, and there are good people who intend to vote yes. We must all understand and respect that. This issue must not and will not further divide us. The proposed question itself leads to important further questions. What is in fact Guatemala's legal claim against Belize? What specific land, insular territories, and maritime areas form a part of the claim?
To help answer these questions and to make a definitive decision come referendum day on October 6th, the Public Awareness Campaign aims to equip Belizeans with the necessary information in order that we might decide our collective fate. Leading that charge is Ambassador James Murphy from the Referendum Secretariat.
The Public Awareness Campaign will seek to sensitize Belizeans across the length and breadth of our great country to the facts of the dispute and about the adjudication process as a means of reaching a final and definitive settlement. We will present the pros, the cons, the risks of referring the dispute to the ICJ.
Also weighing in on this national issue will be the Council of Churches.
As a council, we see our involvement as part of the church's ministry in the wider affair of the people of God. We therefore promise that our involvement will not be a way to influence anyone, including the members of our churches, with regard to the decision they make when the voting occurs later in the year. They will be encouraged to make their own decision as to how they will vote.
The Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
At the end of the day, this is our country, and it is up to us to decide to make the best decision and to keep her intact.
And the Mayors Association.
We strongly encourage voters to read the literature on the history of the dispute, on the referendum process, and on the working of the International Court of Justice.
There was also representation from the Association of Village Councils.
We will do the best, and I will do the best under my responsibility and duty to work along with all the district so that we try and assist our country and our government and ourselves to make sure we make the right decision.
And representation from those communities that share the existing border with Guatemala. In those communities, the president of the Alcaldes Association, Alfonso Cal, asked the government to assist with translations for the inhabitants.
For ours in the 38th community, some do not speak English. They were Mayas. So that is where we need, very important, that we educate them and tell them the way that we are hearing, the way that we are saying, that we don't just want to push them saying vote for yes or vote for no. Let them understand so that they can make their own decision for the betterment of our country.
Guatemala virtually claims more than half of our country, all that area south of the full length of the George Price Highway, including the Keys and islets south of that lay of our land. But news published by Guatemalan newspaper, the Prensa Libre, suggests that key negotiators in that country's claim to Belize may be contemplating asking for a postponement of the referendum, based on Belize's referendum law, which calls for a 60% participation by eligible voters. It is not a matter that concerns Minister of Foreign Affairs Wilfred Elrington, who says that Belize will press on with our campaign.
In Belize, we have to have a turnout of 60%. That is our law.
Okay, but
we can't do anything about what they are contemplating. I mean, that is their position. Our position is that that is our law and we are bound by our law.
If there is a postponement, then what does that do to the entire process?
I don't speculate on that. Our position is when we signed the special agreement was with the knowledge that we had this threshold for the referendum, and nobody raised it at that time. We intend to proceed on the basis that that is our law and that is what we must be guided by. What is being speculated in the media in Guatemala is not a matter of concern for us.
Reporting for Love News, I'm Marion Ali.